You won't believe how these lottery winners turned their luck into smart financial moves in 2023. But what exactly did they do with their fortunes that turned their luck around? Oh, let's uncover their secrets. Number 14. The anonymous winner. The staggering $1.348 billion Mega Millions jackpot kicked off the year with a bang on January 13th. This huge prize, the sixth largest in U.S. lottery history, was claimed under a veil of secrecy by Lacoma Island Investments, LLC. The winner, who purchased the ticket in Lebanon, Maine, chose to stay out of the limelight. In the world of lottery winnings, the choices made post-win are as crucial as the luck that leads to winning. Whether to reveal one's identity or remain anonymous is pivotal. These choices shape the immediate aftermath of the win and set the course for future financial stability. Many winners choose anonymity to maintain privacy and avoid unwanted attention or solicitation. Anonymity can protect against potential threats and help maintain a sense of normalcy in life. However, in some cases, winners choose to reveal their identity, often driven by a desire for recognition or to share their joy publicly. This choice can lead to public scrutiny and open opportunities for public speaking, book deals, or other ventures that capitalize on their newfound fame. In this particular case, the winner made the wise decision of staying anonymous. However, anonymity couldn't shield them from drama, as the winners later found themselves entangled in a legal battle. The case, which centered around accusations against the mother of the winner's child for allegedly revealing his identity to family members, stresses the unexpected challenges that can accompany such life-altering wins. However, staying anonymous helped the winner avoid other problems that often come with going public with lottery winnings, such as predatory investors and robberies. By staying faceless after winning perhaps the biggest prize this year, this winner made a calculated and smart decision. Although this winner decided to remain in the shadows, this next person wasn't afraid to flaunt his luck. Number 13. Johnny Taylor Lump Sum Strategy. April brought another headline-worthy win with Johnny Taylor, a 71-year-old from Queens claiming a $483 million Mega Millions jackpot, the largest ever in New York State. His reaction to winning was one of sheer disbelief. Opting for a lump sum of $157,288,402 after taxes, Taylor's humble statement, "It still doesn't feel real," resonated with many. A winner's first significant decision after winning is opting for a lump sum or an annuity. The lump sum option offers immediate access to many winnings, typically about 60% of the total jackpot. This choice is often attractive because it provides a massive amount of money up front, offering the flexibility to invest, make large purchases, or settle debts. However, it also comes with considerable tax implications and the challenge of managing a significant amount of money simultaneously. On the other hand, choosing an annuity spreads the winnings into annual payments over a period, often 30 years. This option can be less overwhelming, providing a steady income stream and potentially less yearly tax burden. It can serve as a safeguard against impulsive spending and provides a long-term financial security net. However, it limits immediate access to the full amount and can be less adaptable to changing financial needs over time. Opting for a lump sum when winning the lottery can be a smart decision for several reasons. Apart from access to instant money, taking the lump sum allows winners to grow their wealth through strategic investments, as they can take advantage of compounding interest or invest in high-yield opportunities that may not be available. Additionally, choosing a lump sum helps to mitigate the risk of future changes in tax laws or lottery policies that could affect the total amount received. This immediate control over the entire sum also enables winners to plan their estate more effectively, ensuring their wealth is managed according to their wishes. Lastly, considering the time value of money, a lump sum now is often worth more than the same amount spread over many years due to inflation and the potential for investment growth. While this winner made smart decisions, this next one managed to one-up him. Number 12. Record-breaking Texas lottery winner. The Blue Yucca Trust of Rapid City, SD, made headlines with their $361 million Mega Millions win on October 6th. This win was notable not just for its size, but also for its record-setting nature in Texas lottery history. The winning Quick Pick ticket, purchased in San Angelo, Texas, led to a cash option claim in November of $157,367,045 before taxes. Choosing the cash option when winning the lottery can be wise for several reasons. It offers immediate financial control, allowing winners to manage and invest a large sum immediately, potentially leading to significant wealth growth through smart investments. This approach avoids future uncertainties, such as changes in tax laws or financial circumstances, ensuring winners can maximize their winnings under current conditions. The winner also remained anonymous, which was another very clever move. Staying anonymous after winning shields winners from unwanted public attention, reducing the risk of being targeted by scammers, opportunists, or distant relatives seeking financial help. Anonymity also helps preserve personal relationships by avoiding the potential strain that sudden wealth can cause. It allows winners to continue their lives without disrupting and scrutiny often accompanying public knowledge of a windfall. Moreover, staying out of the public eye helps maintain a normal lifestyle and mental well-being, free from the pressures and expectations of being known as a lottery winner. Although this entry's decision was wise, the next winner came with a plan in mind. Number 11. The Powerball winner with a plan. March 4th marked another intriguing chapter with a $162.2 million Powerball jackpot. The winner also remained anonymous, adding an air of mystery to their newfound wealth. But what stood out was their choice of the annuitized prize over a lump sum, a decision not often made by lottery winners. This option suggested a more calculated approach to wealth management, prioritizing long-term financial stability over immediate gratification. Opting for the annuitized prize when winning the lottery can be smart, particularly for those seeking long-term financial stability. This choice ensures a steady income stream over many years, which can be particularly beneficial for individuals who may not be experienced in managing large sums of money. It safeguards against impulsive spending and the potential risks of squandering the winnings quickly. Additionally, annuity payments can be more tax efficient, as they may keep the winner in a lower tax bracket than receiving a large lump sum. This steady income also allows winners to plan their finances with a predictable annual income, providing a sense of security and the ability to budget effectively over the long term. This smart winner may have made smart financial choices, but this next one had far more noble intentions in his mind. Number 10. Jerson Garcia's future investment. The story that really stands out was that of Jerson Garcia, a Bronx resident whose life changed overnight on January 17th. Garcia's win was remarkable not just for the amount, a cool $20 million from Mega Millions, but because it was his first time playing the lottery. This incredible stroke of luck turned the first-timer into a millionaire, defying all odds and expectations. Garcia's reaction to his win was a mix of disbelief and joy, a sentiment shared by many first-time winners who are suddenly thrust into a new financial stratosphere. What set Garcia apart, however, was his vision for the future. He expressed a desire to use his winnings to fulfill a dream shared by many, buying a home for his mother. This heartfelt intention reflected the joy of winning and the humanistic side of lottery wins, the ability to improve lives and fulfill long-cherished dreams. Garcia's story is a powerful reminder of the impact that lottery winnings can have on a personal level. It's not just about the numbers and the statistics, it's about the human stories, the dreams, and the plans that come to life with such wins. His plans to invest in his family's future illustrated a thoughtful and caring approach to his newfound wealth. While losing money after winning a lottery is common, not all winners follow this unfortunate path. The smartest ones, who made wise decisions with their winnings, provide valuable insights into managing sudden wealth. Many have made smart decisions over the past few years with their newfound wealth. Number 9. Emma Wilden, a sustainable plan. A stay-at-home mom from Cinderford, England, Emma Wilden's life dramatically turned on July 31, 2013, when she won £1 million from a scratch card. Unlike the USA, where lottery winnings are taxed, the UK taxes only the interest gained. With the full amount at her disposal, Wilden made some smart choices. Despite her win becoming public knowledge, she resisted giving handouts to everyone who asked, understanding the risks of strained relationships and financial exploitation. Her husband, a financial advisor, guided her in investing wisely. The family allocated £100,000 for immediate enjoyment, like a Range Rover and new clothes, while the rest was invested in property, creating a sustainable income stream for themselves. They also set aside funds for their children's education, ensuring long-term benefits from their windfall. Emma and her husband continue to live a relatively modest lifestyle, avoiding the trap of extravagant spending that befalls many lottery winners. Additionally, they contributed to local charities, focusing on causes close to their heart. Think this was a wise move? This next one made an even smarter one. Number 8. David Kaltschmidt and Maureen Smith's secret. This couple from Florida won a massive $528.7 million Powerball jackpot. Understanding the risks associated with such publicity, they kept their win a secret, even from their adult children, until they had their affairs in order. They contacted financial experts and faced the tough decision between annuity payments and a lump sum. Despite the larger tax implications, they opted for the lump sum because it opened up immediate investment opportunities. Maintaining their previous lifestyle, they invested most of their winnings and contributed to local charities, demonstrating a balance between financial wisdom and social responsibility. The couple also established a trust fund, ensuring their children and grandchildren a secure future. They avoided extravagant purchases, preferring to spend on meaningful experiences and family vacations. Furthermore, they became active philanthropists, focusing on educational and healthcare initiatives in their community. Their approach to wealth management has been praised for its foresight and emphasis on long-term stability. By staying grounded and seeking professional advice, they successfully managed to navigate the complexities of sudden wealth. While these people had a good plan in mind, the next winner made all the right decisions for himself. Number 7. Yancey Hicks' Subway Dreams. A McDonald's employee from Chicago, Hicks won $1 million in 2008. His expenditure was moderate, including a $30,000 Corvette and a new house. The most significant change came when he bought a Subway franchise, fulfilling his dream of being his own boss. Hicks exemplifies how a lottery win can transform one's career aspirations and provide a foundation for future growth. Additionally, he invested in his education, taking business courses to manage his franchise better. This improved his business acumen and gave him the confidence to expand his entrepreneurial ventures. Hicks also set up a college fund for his children, ensuring that his windfall would benefit his family in the long term. He regularly speaks at local schools, sharing his story to inspire others about the possibilities of financial responsibility and entrepreneurship. Hicks' journey from a fast food employee to a successful business owner highlights the power of strategic planning and the positive outcomes of using lottery winnings to achieve personal and professional goals. His commitment to self-improvement and community involvement made him a respected figure in his community. Just like him, the next winners did something similar. Number 6. Brian and Mary Losey, Philanthropic Wins. After winning a $202 million Powerball jackpot, this couple from Bondurant, Iowa, decided to give back to their community. They paid off their church's mortgage and donated $3 million for a new high school stadium. Additionally, they built a $4.5 million grocery store, addressing a local need and earning respect and gratitude from their neighbors. Beyond these major contributions, the couple also established a charitable foundation to support various community projects and initiatives. They focused on education, healthcare, and local infrastructure improvements, believing in the power of investment in community development. Their approach to philanthropy was hands-on, often involving themselves in project planning and execution. They also set up scholarship funds for local students, providing opportunities for higher education to those who might otherwise struggle to afford it. Their commitment to Bondurant transformed the couple into local heroes, admired for their generosity and community spirit. But the next entry on our list had a far more calculated approach. Number 5. Brad Duke and the Importance of Discipline. A lottery winner from Idaho, Duke won $220 million in 2005 and took home a $125 million lump sum. His ambitious goal was to turn this into $1 billion through smart investments. He focused on expanding his fitness company, investing in real estate, and managing his wealth with a team of experts. Though he hasn't reached the billion-dollar mark yet, his wealth has grown substantially, proving that a disciplined and strategic approach can multiply lottery winnings significantly. While Brad Duke's luck was great, it's nothing compared to our next winner. Number 4. Richard Lustig. Repeated winnings. Known for winning the lottery 7 times, Lustig's total winnings amounted to over $1 million. He turned his lottery success into a business, writing books and making TV appearances, showcasing how lottery fame can be leveraged into a sustainable source of income. Richard Lustig's unique approach to playing the lottery garnered him widespread attention, leading to his status as a lottery expert. He capitalized on his repeated wins by developing a method he believed increased his chances of winning, which he shared in his book, Learn How to Increase Your Chances of Winning the Lottery. His strategies, while met with skepticism by statisticians, fascinated the public, making his book a bestseller. Lustig's appearances on national television programs further solidified his reputation, allowing him to charge for speaking engagements and consultations. Additionally, he created a software program based on his methods, diversifying his income streams. This entrepreneurial spirit demonstrated how a lottery winner could not only manage their winnings wisely, but also use their unique experiences to carve out a niche in the public eye, turning lottery success into a long-lasting venture. Just like him, our next winner used a unique strategy for his money. Number 3. Peter Lavery. Irish Luck. Peter Lavery, a former bus driver from Belfast, won £10.2 million in the UK National Lottery in 1996. Lavery's strategic move into the whiskey business, partnering with Cooley Whiskey Distillery to create the Danny Boy brand, proved to be a masterstroke. Coupled with his investments in over 30 properties across Northern Ireland, Lavery has more than tripled his lottery winnings. His success in the whiskey industry was a financial victory and a cultural one, as the Danny Boy brand gained international recognition, celebrating Irish heritage. Beyond business, Lavery's been involved in philanthropy, setting up the Peter Lavery Trust, which supports various local charities and community projects. His story exemplifies how lottery wealth can be used for entrepreneurial ventures and community betterment. Lavery's investments in real estate also demonstrate a keen understanding of the market, making him a respected figure in the Northern Irish business community. His journey from a bus driver to a successful businessman and philanthropist inspires many, showing that wise investment and a community-focused approach can lead to sustained financial success and societal contributions. Peter Lavery's philanthropic efforts are not unlike those of our next entry, who did something similar. Number 2. Lorraine West. Making a difference. Lorraine West, a single mother from the United States, hit the Powerball jackpot in 2018, walking away with $343.9 million before taxes. She donated $500,000 to the Travis Mills Foundation and established the Callum Foundation, which supports animal welfare, veteran affairs, health, and education. West Philanthropy highlights the impactful use of lottery winnings to give back to the community and the fulfillment it brings. Her decision to contribute to the Travis Mills Foundation, a group dedicated to aiding recalibrated veterans and their families, underscores her commitment to addressing critical issues facing veterans. Additionally, through the Callum Foundation, named after her late grandson, she aims to make a lasting difference in areas such as pediatric health care, poverty, and animal safety. West's story has inspired many, showing that sudden wealth can be a powerful tool for positive change. Her generosity also sheds light on the potential for lottery winners to effect significant societal improvements, setting a precedent for future winners. While her generosity is heartwarming, the next person on our list has truly left a mark on lottery winner history with his brains. Number 1. Jason Fry. Calculated moves. Jason Fry from Florida turned his $14 million win from the $47 million Florida jackpot in 2007 into a thriving business empire. He initially indulged in his dream car and fun times with friends, but wisely invested the rest. He bought a Golf World 2 driving range, generating significant annual revenue, and acquired a Batteries Plus store in Fort Myers, which became one of the brand's best-performing stores. Fry's story is a prime example of how lottery winnings can fuel entrepreneurial ambitions and create sustainable business ventures. The remarkable tales of the 2023 lottery winners make it clear that these stories are more than just about striking it rich. They're narratives of chance, choice, and the human experience. From the record-setting $1.348 billion Mega Millions jackpot claimed under anonymity to Johnny Taylor's disbelief in his $483 million win, each story has its own unique flavor. These smart winners showed us the art of flourishing their fortunes, a path less traveled in the lottery world. Most winners are tempted by quick gains, often finding their pockets empty as swiftly as they were filled. Some manage to spend all their earnings in disastrous ways. Here are 20 lottery winners who lost it all.
Here are 10 lottery winners who did things right and are still rich. Smart lottery winner number 10. Brad Duke and the Idaho State Jackpot. In 2005, Idaho native Brad Duke grabbed the $220 million Idaho State Jackpot. Before winning his $220 million in the Idaho State Lottery, Brad worked as a manager for Gold's Gym in Treasure Valley. More interested in lasting wealth than he was in buying some fancy supercar, Brad used the jackpot money to make lucrative investments in gas, oil, real estate, and low-risk bonds. Additionally, Brad started a $1.3 million family foundation. In total, Brad's efforts have led to him more than doubling the cash jackpot that he won years ago. Smart lottery winner number 9. Peter Lavery and the UK National Jackpot. In 1996, Peter Lavery reinvested his £10.2 million winnings in a whiskey distillery and other properties. Not your typical USA resident jackpot winner, Lavery lives in Belfast, Northern Ireland, United Kingdom. Coming from humble beginnings, prior to his £10.2 million national lottery win in 1996, his old job as a bus driver used to earn him less than $250 a week. But it wasn't enough for Peter to simply make a wise financial investment. He decided to expand his whiskey investment into a partnership with Cooley Whiskey Distillery and make the Danny Boy brand. Since then, Peter has gone on to more than triple his winnings worth and now has more than 30 properties spread across Northern Ireland. Smart lottery winner number 8. Couple, John and Lisa Robinson and their Powerball jackpot. In 2016, Munford, Tennessee natives John Robinson and his wife Lisa hit the Powerball jackpot and took home $327.8 million. Just as interesting as their own win is that they were actually one of 3 for the $1.58 billion payouts that came with that year's Powerball jackpot, which is still the highest amount on record. Like every other lottery winner, they didn't actually get to keep all $327.8 million. But even after taxes, the couple still came away with a hefty amount. John and Lisa decided to invest in real estate and now live in a $6.2 million 10-bedroom mansion and a property that also includes a private lake and a home theater. In contrast to many millionaires, particularly lottery winners, the Robinsons prefer to keep a low profile and are still super rich. Smart lottery winner number 7. Lorraine West and her Powerball jackpot. Lorraine West hit the Powerball jackpot in 2018 and walked home with $343.9 million. A single mom of 3 from the United States, West used to work with an insurance company before her big lottery win. Similar to the Robinsons, West was not the sole winner of the $687.8 million Powerball jackpot. She was one of 2 winners who took home $343.9 million before taxes. Unlike most lottery winners, West decided to direct a good portion of her earnings towards charity. She donated $500,000 to the Travis Mills Foundation and established a charitable organization called Callum Foundation. Her charity continues to offer financial support to animal welfare, veteran affairs, health, and education. Quite a far cry from blowing it in Vegas, wouldn't you say? So far, we have seen some pretty smart winners. But can it get smarter than this? Maybe, so keep watching. Smart Lottery winner number 6. Jason Fry and his Florida jackpot. In 2007, Jason Fry scooped up $14 million up from the Florida state jackpot. He chose to invest in and became the owner of a successful battery business. Like others on the list, Fry was not the sole winner of his jackpot. While he took home $14 million, the total 2007 Florida jackpot was actually $47 million. A bit more on the fun-loving side of winners, he bought his favorite car, had fun with his friends, and then invested the rest. Jason also went in on acquiring a Golf World Tour driving range with a partner. On average, it annually generates about $300,000 in revenue. But Fry wasn't done yet. He also acquired a Fort Myers-based Batteries Plus store and 3 others. His batteries business alone has made him a household name in Florida, and Fry has even more ambitious plans to expand and bring in more revenue. Needless to say, Fry made his $14 million work far more for him than he did for it. Smart Lottery winner number 5. Yancey Hicks and his 2008 lottery win. Interestingly, while Yancey has one of the lowest actual winning lottery amounts on this list, he still made the most he could get out of his comparably modest $1 million lottery win. He purchased and is now the proud owner of a Subway restaurant that earns him a stable income. It's not the state-spanning business empire that Jason Fry is building, but Yancey's investment has still set him to continue earning passive income into the future. Smart Lottery winner number 4. Cynthia Stafford and her California lottery win. After her $112 million California lottery win in 2007, Cynthia Stafford became a successful businesswoman and philanthropist. But it's crazy to think how it all came about. On Mother's Day of 2007, a day she probably thought would be like any other, Cynthia woke up the lucky winner of the California lottery. She immediately shared some of it with her brother and father. She invested the rest in real estate properties and her new business, Queen Nefertari Productions LLC. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Cynthia Stafford currently has an estimated net worth of $10 million. This past winner was definitely smart, but don't think you have seen it all. If you want to get the best ideas for when you win the lottery, make sure to pay close attention to these last 3 winners. Take notes and keep watching. Smart Lottery winner number 3. Mark Brundinel and his 1997 Lotto jackpot. While less information is available for Mark and his wife Cheryl, this Sunderland couple is perhaps the smartest of them all, given what they won. Before winning £900,000 in February 1997, Mark was making ends meet as a chemical tanker driver and a bakery manager. After the money came through, he decided to invest it into setting up a double glazing business that continues to bring in consistent profit well over 20 years later. Smart Lottery winner number 2. Sue Herdman and her 2010 lottery win. Working as a hairdresser when she won her £1.2 million lottery prize, Herdman proved to be quite the intelligent, if unconventional, investor. Herdman didn't indulge of any of the typical luxurious lifestyle choices of most jackpot winners, and instead decided to invest in pig farming. Today, she owns a pig farm in northeast England and has over 7,000 pigs. On average, about 1,000 piglets are born weekly. A massive, far more reliable, and consistent jackpot for her. Smart Lottery winner number 1. Richard Lustig and his multiple lottery wins. Certainly the most unique of all the Smart Lottery winners, Richard Lustig has scooped up lottery cash prizes 7 separate times. And while it might seem like one of the strangest things to grow accustomed to, Lustig is rather used to winning the lottery by this point. Understandably, Lustig rose to fame during his 7 lottery-winning stints that continued from 1993 to 2010. Somewhat curiously, his winnings alone are, in total, just $1 million. But what made Lustig smart was how he utilized all the media exposure that came with his fame in spreading the word once he wrote a book called Learn How to Increase Your Chances of Winning the Lottery. The number of copies he sold ended up actually earning him a net worth more than double his total winnings. So while he may not have won the most or ended up with the most money, it's hard to deny Lustig's pure luck and resourcefulness. All these winners are definitely smarter than the winners on our video of the dumbest lottery winners in US history.
Hey, millionaire. You're probably watching this because you spend a lot of time daydreaming about winning a giant lottery jackpot. Even if that dream came true, that doesn't mean you'll be rich. Sure, for a moment you'll be rich, but if you take a look at the stats, most lottery winners blow their cash, and some of them end up even poorer than they were before they got their big win. Sure, that's not what any lottery enthusiast wants to hear, but that's the cold, hard truth. However, it doesn't have to be that way. This list of lottery winners proves that you can actually use a lottery win to your advantage. While other winners were spending their millions, these winners were being smart. And thanks to their clever approach to being overnight millionaires, they're still rich today. Let's hope they serve a good example to you if you ever win. Wouldn't it be great to be rich for the rest of your life? Let's take a closer look at how they did it. Brad Duke. In 2005, Brad Duke was a 33-year-old fitness instructor working in Idaho. He played the lottery often, but you can bet that he had no idea his lucky day had come. At the time, the Powerball jackpot stood at a life-changing $220 million. But Brad didn't know that. He stopped for gas, checked his ticket, and was shocked by the clerk's reaction. He'd won. He wasn't sure how to react, so he grabbed the ticket and left before the clerk even had a chance to tell Brad that he'd won the jackpot. Brad spent the next few days thinking he'd only won a few $1,000s. Imagine his surprise when he finally found out he was actually a millionaire. Brad didn't tell anyone about his good fortune except for his dad. Together, they sat and planned what to do with the money, while Brad kept living his life and going to work like nothing had changed. Brad took home $74 million after taxes and set a goal to grow his wealth to $1 billion within the next 15 years. He put together a team of lawyers and financial advisors to ensure he didn't blow his chance. Has he reached his $1 billion goal? Well, not exactly. Unfortunately, some of his big early investments went sour when the 2008 financial crisis hit. But even with his misfortune, he's definitely not broke. In 2016, he's estimated he's added $100 million to his fortune over the years. That's pretty impressive. And he also used his money for good by starting the Duke Foundation, which has raised about $1 million for residents of Idaho. And he did this all while still doing his normal job for years. Peter Lavery. In 1996, Peter Lavery was working as a bus driver in Ireland. He was earning the equivalent of only a $300 paycheck, but luckily, he still found the money to play the UK National Lottery every now and then. He never made a better decision than purchasing that ticket. It was the winner of a huge jackpot worth 10.2 million British pounds. That's about $12.5 million. And, in case you don't know, lottery winners in the UK aren't required to pay tax on their winnings. That means he took home every cent that he won. That was a huge sum of money back in 1996, and Peter knew exactly what he wanted to do with it. It didn't take him long to invest in whiskey. He described it as a feeling like he'd won the lottery all over again. He went into a partnership with Cooley Whiskey Distillery to produce the well-reviewed Danny Boy blended Irish whiskey brand. That was his only investment, though he made a lot of not too big investments in many different businesses and also started buying property and real estate developments in Northern Ireland. He owns an impressive 30 properties. With the money he was making, he also started getting involved in an increasing number of local charities, including the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice and his own foundation, which he named after his parents. But how much money has he really earned out of his lottery winnings? You'll be impressed. He's actually succeeded in tripling his winnings over the last few decades. But he did step down from his whiskey business recently. Les Robbins. In 1993, Les Robbins was working as a substitute teacher. Times were tough, though he was only earning $20,000 per semester. He loved working with the kids. but that's not a great salary, even for a job you enjoy. But it wouldn't matter soon. Les was the holder of a jackpot-winning Powerball ticket. You can only imagine how he felt when he learned he'd won the biggest jackpot the US had ever seen at the time. He split his winnings with the woman who was his fiancée at the time. They've split up since, but that doesn't matter. Les still has a lot of money, and he needed to work out what to do with it. He wanted to do something he was passionate about, and he loved working with kids so much that it seemed like a no-brainer. He set up Camp Winnegator. It's a dream day camp for kids spread across 226 acres of land. Les added everything he could think of to his camp: a swimming pool, a gym, a mini golf course, and even horses that the kids could ride. And that was pretty much all he spent his winnings on. I guess if you got your dream, you don't really need anything else. He did buy himself a Jeep, but with all that cash, that purchase seems modest. But where is he now? Well, aside from a problem with the company tasked with managing annuity payments that led to a court case that Les won, he's been keeping a low profile. He went back to being a substitute teacher back in 2000 when he was offered a long-term job, but it looks like he did that because he wanted to, not because he needed to. At the time, his camp was still operating at full capacity most days. Some sources say it closed recently, but others say it's still going. Deanna Simpson. Deanna Simpson was working as a hairdresser in Sheffield, England, before she won the lottery. Her life wasn't exactly easy. Money was seriously tight in her family, and at one time, Diana had less than $15 in her bank account. She was also trying to be there for her severely disabled brother, who she was very close to, but no amount of attention could have saved him. Sadly, he passed away due to an epileptic fit when he was just 40 years old. Deanna was devastated, but with so little money, she didn't have time to grieve the way she wanted. She was feeling pretty low when she says something incredible happened. She fell asleep one night in a deep depression, and she had an amazing dream. In her dream, her late brother came to her and told her that if she bought a lottery ticket for the next draw, she would win the jackpot. He even told her exactly what numbers to play. When she woke up, she decided to listen to what her brother had told her. Sure, maybe it was just a dream, but she had nothing to lose by listening. She was a regular lottery player who always used the same numbers. But this time, she used the new numbers her brother had told her in her dream instead. When the draw happened, she was sitting in her brother's chair at her parents' house. They watched together as the numbers Deanna's brother had given her were read out, one by one, on the TV. Nobody could believe it. Deanna was now holding a winning UK National Lottery ticket worth £5.3 million, and it was all thanks to her late brother. That's over $6.6 million. Deanna was one of the smart ones. She invested her lottery winnings into property over the next 20 years, and she even started her own property business with her son. She said she did spend some on luxuries, though mostly she loved being able to pamper her parents before their deaths. That was something Deanna felt was important because her parents had spent their whole lives working very hard and never earning very much money. In early 2020, she's now helping to train disability assistance dogs with a local charity called Support Dogs. She says it's something close to her heart because the dogs are trained to help people like her brother. Her lottery money means she has a house with a garden big enough to train puppies who will go on to help people with disabilities. Neil Wanless. Making money as a cowboy can be pretty tough these days. 23-year-old Neil Wanless was struggling to pay his bills back in 2009. That is, until one day when he went to run errands in a nearby town called Winner. While he was there, he decided to pick up a Powerball ticket. It turned out the town's name was a good omen for Neil. He used the birthdays of his family members as his winning numbers. But even though he was joking about winning, he had no idea he really was holding the jackpot ticket, and it sure was the right time to win the Powerball jackpot because it had rolled over to an insane amount of cash. When Neil woke up and checked the lottery numbers, he was shocked to learn he was the only winner of a $232 million jackpot. He was so shocked that he took a whole month to collect his winnings, but that might have paid off. In that time, Neil and his family were planning what to do with their sudden wealth. But unlike most lottery winners, Neil had no interest in quitting his job. He loved what he did and decided he'd invest his lottery winnings back into his work. The first thing he did after collecting the money was to get the family a better ranch. So he bought 23 square miles of land worth $9.9 million. He also got himself a house, which was a big upgrade on the trailer he'd been living in since the bank repossessed his family home. He used more of his cash to help his town in all sorts of generous ways. After that, he almost totally dropped off the radar, refusing to do interviews to try to maintain his privacy. That is, until he decided to sell his ranch. In 2020, he put the ginormous property on the market. His reason? He'd married a girl from Canada. They now spend most of their time in British Columbia and their winter home in Arizona. He just doesn't really use the ranch anymore. The ranch hasn't sold yet, but Neil dropped his asking price to $37.5 million. He's still considered one of the richest men in South Dakota. What would you invest your lottery winnings into? Let us know in the comments. Jason Fry. Jason Fry from Florida is the type of person you'd call hardworking. Before he won the lottery, he was working 3 jobs. He was pouring concrete, digging wells, and working as a bartender at night. But even with all that work, he had almost no money. In fact, it was so bad that he was about to lose his property. That's the last thing you need with a second baby on the way. Jason was pretty stressed 3 days before Christmas. That might be what pushed him to buy a lottery ticket that day, when he almost never did. According to Jason, he'd only bought a few lottery tickets in his life, but it's a good thing he decided to buy one this time. Overnight, all Jason's money problems totally disappeared. That lottery ticket was the winner of a $47 million jackpot. Jason did take advantage of his new wealth. He impulsively bought a boat, a motorcycle, a Mustang, and a house. But after his spending spree, he quickly changed his mind about the way he was spending his money. He realized he wasn't being smart and switched to a very different kind of spending instead. He started investing in a business. He bought a golf driving range to start, which earns him roughly $300,000 a year. He then decided to buy a Battery Plus franchise store in Fort Myers after visiting the one his friend owns. After that, he bought another 3 Battery Plus stores. All these stores bring even more revenue for Jason every year, and his battery business has made him into a local celebrity. He still earns money all the time, adding to all the lottery money he still has in his savings. Robert Salo. Teenage lottery winners are usually the first to lose their fortune. They mostly don't think about their future, and that means they spend their money on the most stupid things until they have nothing left. Robert Salo wasn't one of those teenagers. He lived in Brooklyn, but his family wasn't very wealthy. He always wanted to be an electrical engineer, but he was already 18 years old, and his family didn't have the money to pay for his studies, so he could qualify for his dream job. He had pretty much accepted that he'd need to go into a different career when he bought a $2 scratch-off ticket. He had no idea that such a simple purchase would change his life. He won $1,000 a week for the rest of his life. That's about $48,000 a year before taxes. If you're thinking that only the big jackpots make a real difference, you're wrong. That meant that Robert could pay for his studies so he can become an electrical engineer like he had dreamed. And that's exactly what he did with the money. His parents didn't have to worry so much about him anymore, and he completed his qualifications. Even a small lottery win can help people to live the life they always wanted. If you want to play the lottery from the comfort of your own home, make sure to check out the link in the description below. It's fast and easy. Yancey Hicks. If you think that Robert is the only person who turned his life around with a small win, you're wrong. Yancey Hicks can join that list. Yancey won the Illinois State Lottery jackpot. It wasn't a huge sum of cash. The jackpot was only $1 million. But that's more than enough to create a new life if you spend it wisely, which is exactly what Yancey did. Before the win, he'd been working at McDonald's for a very long time, and all that time, he'd been dreaming of being his own boss one day. It didn't look like that was ever going to happen until his lottery win. After that, he had the money to buy his own Subway restaurant. It was a great investment. The restaurant was a huge success and is still earning money today. Yanthi Fulagar. And here's another teenager who bucked the trend and actually invested their money wisely instead of spending it on stupid stuff. Yanthi Fulagar was only 18 and living in Cumbria in England when she got her big win. She was working as a waitress and earning less than minimum wage at the time, but she dreamed of becoming a lawyer. She was only just old enough to even play the lottery. She'd bought a Euro Millions ticket and heard there were a few winners. However, she didn't think she was one of them. She was convinced she only picked 3 correct numbers. But when she watched the draw on TV that night, she listened as she realized all of her numbers were being read out, including the lucky star number, the equivalent of a Powerball. She'd won the jackpot. As I mentioned, she was one of a handful of winners who shared the £102 million jackpot. Yanti's share just topped £7 million, or about $8.6 million. That's a crazy amount of money for an 18-year-old to manage. She was mainly worried about losing her ticket, though, and spent ages hiding it around the house. Finally, she plucked up the courage to take it in and collect her winnings. By the time the money was in her bank account, she already knew what to do with it. She wanted to take a year to travel, and the destination she chose was Egypt. But that was her only extravagant purchase. She helped her parents to retire early and even bought them a house. She also replaced her decade-old Ford with a new car, but it wasn't anything flashy. Then she paid for her studies to become a lawyer like she dreamed. She decided to live like a normal student, but she aimed to open her own law firm one day. Her millions would allow her to do that. Since then, she's kept a low profile. Sources saying she's one of the richest people in the UK are lying. But that doesn't mean she's lost all her money. More reliable sources say she's now worth about £10 million. That's £3 million more than she won. I guess that means her career as a lawyer is going well. So that was a pretty smart investment. Paul and Sue Rosenau. Paul and Sue Rosenau were ordinary people. Sue worked at a research institute when she wasn't a stay-at-home mom, while Paul operated heavy machinery. They were pretty happy, right up until about 5 years before their lottery win, when their family suffered a huge loss. Their 2-year-old grandchild, Michaela, was diagnosed with Crab disease. Many people don't know about this terrible disease because it's so rare, but this severe neurological condition mainly affects babies and toddlers, and it almost always ends in death. There's no cure. Unfortunately for the Rosenau family, all they could do was sit and watch as they lost their beloved granddaughter to this terrible disease. 5 years later, Paul saw that the US Powerball had reached a record jackpot of $180.1 million. He only occasionally played the lottery, but he figured he might as well have a go. He kind of forgot about it until the draw came on while they were watching TV. Paul went to get his ticket while Sue shouted the numbers to him. By the time he got back into the living room, they were reading out the Powerball number. It matched. Paul told Sue they'd won, but she didn't believe him. He tricked her by saying that before, but Paul kept insisting. Eventually, Sue said they could go check the numbers. Because they didn't have the internet at home, they had to drive all the way to Sue's office to find out. It was worth the drive. Paul had won the jackpot. Luckily, Paul had an accountant friend who was able to advise them. They decided to pick the lump sum to help them retire early, and they took home $88 million. They couldn't have been more excited. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with all that cash, and it had nothing to do with mansions or flashy cars. In fact, they didn't even move out of their house. They kept living their lives just like before. They took a tiny portion of the money to make sure they could live comfortably in their retirement. They also took a little more for a trip to Hawaii and a family vacation to Disneyland with her children and one grandchild. But it was the grandchild that wouldn't be able to go that they were thinking about most. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with their millions. They founded the Legacy of Angels Foundation in honor of their late grandchild, Michaela. The foundation is dedicated to funding research into the treatment and possible cure for Crab disease in babies. Thanks to the foundation, the knowledge of how to treat the horrific disease has advanced a lot further than it would have without them. Paul said they might even be only a few years away from finding a real cure for the disease. The couple said they had always been perfectly happy with their lives, and they didn't feel like they needed the money. They said they were much happier knowing that it could improve the lives of others. Well, if that's what makes them happy, they must be ecstatic because they've definitely improved people's lives. Soon, they might even be able to say they saved the lives of thousands of babies just like their granddaughter. If that's not a good way to spend your lottery win, I don't know what is.
It is a fact that a person is more likely to get struck by lightning than win a lottery. But these people have played some of the smartest moves one can think of and have made a fortune out of it. Number 9. Brad Duke. Learning from your own mistakes is good, but you know what's the best? Learning from the bad experiences of other people around you. And that is what Brad Duke did. Back in 2005, after winning the Idaho Powerball lottery, Brad scooped a prize of $85 million. And instead of purchasing a fancy villa or some sports car, he invested it wisely and turned it into $1 billion. But how did he do that? Well, Brad has always been a clever person. He claims that even before he won the jackpot, he wasn't just gambling mindlessly. When he bought his Powerball tickets, he used a mathematical system. Using his phenomenal brain, Brad developed a lottery number structure by going back over 6 years and analyzing the numbers that were the most popular. He formed them into a system pattern and then played these exact numbers week after week consistently for 4 years. He says that before he won the multi-million jackpot, he'd already started to take home $150 and $500 prizes. But how he managed to become a billionaire in just 12 years of winning a lottery is a life lesson that all Powerball enthusiasts must learn. In an interview, he said that after winning the jackpot, he did some research and found out that most lottery winners who win a jackpot usually spend all the money on useless things and end up where they started from, and sometimes at an even worse place. And that is when he decided that he wouldn't let winning this lottery get to his head. Instead, he built a team of trusted financial advisors who helped him turn his fortune into $1 billion mega fortune in just 12 years. For that, he put the money that he'd won to work and invested $45 million into low-risk investment ventures, $35 million into high-risk assets, and creating a $1.3 million Duke Family Foundation, a charity that helps nonprofit organizations. Number 8. Peter Lavery. How lucky someone should be that one moment they're a normal bus driver and bam, the next they're a millionaire. Guess only Peter Lavery can relate. Peter Lavery, a former bus driver who has lived in the heart of Belfast, claims that he has been lucky all his life. He once escaped a bomb, potential hijackers, and then won a multi-million-dollar lottery that over 33.5 million played. Can you believe it? In one night, he became a perfect example of from rags to riches. Peter had to leave school without any qualification because he had dyslexia, and because of that, he had to work hard every day in his life, which made him a borderline alcoholic. Sharing the same experience, he said in an interview that he couldn't believe he won a lottery and admits that at the beginning, the trajectory did not look good for him. For half a year, he was teetering on becoming a lottery winner cliche. He went to work one last shift after he won the lottery and then handed over his notice. But then, he was left with no particular goal in mind. He didn't know how to manage all this money he had received overnight and thus started drinking 5 days a week. And things went downhill after that. He became depressed and wanted to take his life, but his doctor friend saved his life, unexpectedly, and told him to get busy. Since that day, Peter changed his way of living, and now he is the first multi-millionaire of Belfast. In the first year, he spent $500,000 on cars and went on exotic vacations with his family and friends, but soon he got bored of that. Then he decided to reinvest his winnings in the whiskey distillery and other properties. Soon he expanded his whiskey investment into a partnership with Cooley Whiskey Distillery and made the Danny Boy brand. Peter has worked hard to triple his fortune and has been successful in doing that. He now has more than 30 properties spread across Northern Ireland. But even after achieving his dreams, he didn't pick up the habit of drinking mindlessly ever again, and now has put his newfound wealth and status to good use by setting up and raising money for a string of local charities. These include the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice and the Northern Ireland Chest, Heart, and Stroke Association, and has also set up the Rita and Charles Trust in memory of his beloved parents. Number 7. John and Lisa Robinson. The life of the Robinson family suddenly changed one night when they hit a jackpot worth over $327.8 million in 2016. And it is needless to say that they have invested it in a way that even after upgrading their lifestyle, they still have a lot of money left. After winning the jackpot, John and Lisa decided to invest in real estate and now live in a lakeside home in summer. Their new luxurious home has 10 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, a movie theater, wooden jetties complete with stunning dining furniture, and 320 acres of land in the gorgeous Tennessee countryside. They even have their own private lake. And if you think that this must have taken half of their prize money, well, it cost them just over 1% of what they have in their bank accounts. Today, despite living in such a luxurious home, they've decided to keep a low-profile life and are still super rich. It just sets an example that even when you think a lottery won't change you, it will. But it's not always in a bad way. Good things are possible with a lotto win as long as you remain sensible with your winnings. Number 6. Cynthia Stafford. A single mom of 5 children used a hack to scoop a lottery of $112 million. And it will blow your mind. Cynthia was reading a book called Power of Your Subconscious Mind and believed strongly that she would win the lottery if she manifested it. For that, she visualized the exact amount of money she wanted to win, $112 million. However, 112 was a number that was not wholly picked by Cynthia at random and has an interesting story behind it. She picked 11 because she was born in November, and then chose 2 because she felt like it. In an interview, she told a news outlet, "I was trying to consolidate the number to match my birthday. That's basically what I was doing." After winning the lottery, she bought her dream house, which she claimed she visualized owning, spent a hefty amount on luxury handbags, and bought 2 Bentleys, a convertible, and a family car. And despite these extravagant purchases, Cynthia believed she would stay wealthy due to her manifestation technique. She told ABC, "I didn't want to be one of those stories where you gained money and then lose it all." However, her visualization techniques didn't work this time, and Cynthia was forced to file for bankruptcy on January 6, 2016, after poor investments. But later on, the lotto winner published a book called Seeing: How to Visualize Your Way to Success, and started selling courses that help people manifest things. And now, this is her new source of income. Number 5. Jason Fry. In 2007, Jason Fry was working 3 jobs to meet the daily needs of his family. He was bartending, pouring concrete, and digging wells, and still faced bankruptcy. While he was struggling financially, his second child was on the way. His marriage was on the skids, and Christmas was just 3 days away. From nowhere, his friend suggested that he should buy a lottery ticket, despite knowing that Jason doesn't like gambling and does not have money to do so. After a lot of persuasion, Jason went for it and won $47 million. After winning, Fry split the prize money with his friend and also gave his now ex-wife a sizable amount. For the next 6 months, Fry did what you'd expect a millionaire in his 30s to do. He bought a boat, an Escalade, a Shelby Mustang, a motorcycle, a house in Fort Myers. He played golf every chance he got and invested in a driving range with a golf pro. Once he got bored of this lifestyle, he decided to take on entrepreneurship as a new career path, opening a Batteries Plus store in Fort Myers. Today, Fry owns 4 stores in Bonita Springs, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. He also opened a Mona Lisa restaurant in Fort Myers and plans to open 2 more in Cape Coral and another one near the airport. But his journey of becoming an instant millionaire hasn't been easy. He has been betrayed by some of his friends who borrowed money and never returned, and some who promised to make investments that were never made. But these incidents have become a life lesson for him, and he is learning from these bad experiences. Number 4. Sue Herdman. For most people, winning a multi-million-dollar lottery means living a luxurious life and spending money on their hobbies or investing it in their new venture. But for Sue Herdman, who won $1.2 million, wearing branded clothes and sipping champagne isn't something she would prefer. Before her numbers came up in January 2010, and she officially became a millionaire overnight, Sue was a hairdresser in the village of Erdesley, near Hereford. And although she struggled financially, she was perfectly groomed. Her clothes and makeup were always carefully picked out. But ever since she has won the lottery, she prefers to be a pig farmer. And although she is up at the crack of dawn and often knee-deep in mud, she has never been happier. Sue has invested her winnings in property. She says, "I always imagined if I won the lottery, I'd buy a new car and clothes. But the reality is that I still love hunting for bargains, and I've discovered I love pigs." Her reaction to winning a lottery was no different than all the lottery winners in the world. Before she won the lottery, she was a single mother desperately trying to save up enough money to get a mortgage when her numbers came up. She said in an interview, "It was tea time, and I was just about to have dinner when I glanced at the TV and saw the winning numbers. They looked familiar. I always use the same ones, and I got my ticket out to check." To say I couldn't believe my eyes is an understatement, but I suddenly couldn't eat a thing. After verifying she had indeed won £1,182,714, she celebrated with a drink in the pub and some karaoke. But unlike other lottery winners, she kept on going to work for the first 6 months as a hairdresser. But now she has found a way to both invest her money and enjoy a life that's anything but glamorous. Number 3. Richard Lustig. If you have ever dreamed of winning a lottery, Richard Lustig has something for you that can make your dreams a reality. With an astounding 7 lottery wins under his belt, Lustig was an expert when it came to hitting jackpots. Richard Lustig was an ordinary individual, but his life took an electrifying turn when he won, bestowing upon him $1,047,060.50 in combined winnings. Though luck had played a major role in Richard's life, he also had a strategy that helped him win lotteries worth millions of dollars and a few luxurious trips. But how did he do that? The first win for Lustig came in 1993, and it wasn't even on lotto games. He won $10,000 on a scratch card bought in Florida. It's even more interesting to note that his next win took 4 years, but the prize was on a state lottery. It was Florida Fantasy 5, where he won $13.5 thousand. The next winnings included holiday trips, and the biggest victory came in 2002, when Richard won $842,000 on Florida Mega Money. The subsequent 2 winnings in 2008 and 2010 were $73K and $98K respectively, which puts Richard at over $1 million in total winnings. And that marked the start of his popularity, which grew exponentially as people started taking interest in the lottery world. And while he has won a very small amount compared to other people in Florida who have hit multi-million-dollar jackpots, Richard still ranks as one of the most popular lottery winners because he's the only one who won significant prizes on the lottery on 7 occasions. Seeing his popularity grow, he wrote a book, Learn How to Increase Your Chances of Winning the Lottery, in which he explained how he used his analyzing techniques and won lotteries multiple times. Everyone was intrigued by the fact that he won 7 times by playing the lotto and wanted to know how, which made his book immensely popular even outside Florida. In 2013, the book was at the 3rd spot of the best-selling books in the self-help category. And even though there's no accurate information, it won't be wrong to assume that Richard Lustig earned more with his book than when playing the lottery. Though his techniques and advice are not accepted by many experts, he sure found a way of making money by winning lotteries and by teaching how to win lotteries. Number 2. Stefan Mandel. Imagine being so good at mathematics that you can hack the lottery system and win the lottery 14 times. And while it's hard to believe, It is what a Romanian-Australian economist did. Though his ways of winnings are now considered illegal, he made a fortune out of it and now leads a peaceful life. Mandel used to earn just $88 a month when he won the lottery for the first time in Romania. Later on, he tried his luck a second time and won another lottery when he was trying to earn enough money to get his family out of the then communist country. Then, after a few years, he moved to Israel before settling down in Australia, where he won the lottery an additional 12 times. But how did he do that? What loophole was there in the lottery system that Mandel took advantage of? Well, here's a detailed explanation of how Mandel hacked the system and took advantage of it. Mandel, using his phenomenal brain, came up with a 6-step formula that helped him manage to make serious cash from the lottery. First things first, he used to calculate the total number of possible combinations. For example, if a lottery requires you to pick 6 numbers from 1 to 40, that means 3,838,380 combinations are possible. Then, he used to spend time finding lotteries where the jackpot is 3 times or more the number of possible combinations. And once he had enough data, he used to raise cash to pay for each combination. It is said that Mandel rounded up 2,524 investors for his push to win the Virginia lottery. Then he would print out millions of tickets with every combination. This used to be legal back then, but now the rules have changed and you would have to buy the tickets right from the store, which has left no space for hacking the lottery system. After making a fortune from this, now Mandel lives a quiet life in Vanuatu, a South Pacific island country known for its volcanoes and waterfalls. Number 1. Marge and Jerry Selby. Buying a lottery ticket and waiting for the day until the results get announced is a process that can be very stressful for those who want to win badly. But imagine if you know beforehand which number will win. How easier the whole process will become. That's what this elderly couple did. They figured out a math error in games run by 2 states, and it became a wildly profitable investment strategy. Marge and Jerry owned a party store in Everett, Michigan that sold cigarettes, liquor, and lottery tickets. After selling 1,000 tickets, Jerry figured out how to hack the odds in a certain type of lottery called Windfall in Michigan, and later Cash Windfall in Massachusetts. Jerry realized that you could almost guarantee a profit to the tune of 5 or 6 figures if you played thousands and thousands in particular weeks. So that's why the Selbys started purchasing some particular tickets, to the point that playing the lottery became a full-time job at times. And over the course of 9 years, it worked, to the point that their estimated total lottery haul was almost $27 million. Though there is a lot of math behind it, the Selbys figured out what the hardest part is. It was simply the process of actually buying and examining thousands of lottery tickets. This required physically going to stores in person, standing in front of the machine for hours, buying the tickets, and printing them out. In 2003, Jerry Selby started on his own and spent a few $1,000s a week while keeping the whole thing a secret from his more risk-averse wife. After 2 weeks of betting, during which he made $6,300 from tickets worth $3,400, and then grossed $15,700 from tickets worth $8,000, he came clean to his wife, and she also became a part of it. Then, after making a profit of the first few $100,000, the Selbys started a company to fund and organize the whole thing. However, due to some reasons, Michigan closed down the game they were playing, and the Selbys started focusing on Massachusetts, where the stakes were higher. This also required a 12-hour drive each way to play, standing in convenience stores for days at a time. The Selbys took on investors, but then faced another challenge. A group of students from MIT also figured out the error in the lottery system and formed an organization, attracted investors, and started making millions. However, this little game didn't work for many days. It was exposed by a newspaper, the Boston Globe. And while there was nothing illegal in this, the Selbys still had to shut down their company. But the way they found an error in the system and used it to their advantage, and built a whole company for that, is surely one of the smartest ways of using the lottery system.